Right, I'm very excited about this. So excited as well because this is happening in the city, a city that is the hub of much great stuff at the moment, City of Culture. In September, we welcome a comedy legend and a man who has starred in some of the most popular musicals and theatre productions of all time and knows a little bit about comedy as well. Nigel Planer's All Above Board comes to the Albany Theatre. So let's find out more. Nigel Planer, how the devil are you?
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Mate,
I'm well.
I'm all right, and I'm so excited to be talking to you because you are one of my comedy heroes, and you know what we're going to be talking about a little bit later on. But I thought we could talk about your production first of all. But how are you anyway? How's life treating you?
Yeah, very well. I'm on a little bit of a holiday at the moment, which is just really nice.
Oh,
Looking at the photographs on the website while all the actors are rehearsing. So it's a good feeling. They put out some rehearsal photographs, and I'm sitting here I'm down in Somerset, having a little bit of a holiday.
oh, that's good. Well,
One of the
you no doubt
perks.
deserve it. I mean,
'Cause
have you been pretty full on with getting all the rehearsals for this show? Have you been pretty busy getting all that sorted?
Yes, it's been brilliant actually. I'm doing rewrites, and with a comedy, you don't know until the last minute which bits are going to work. So you've got to be doing rewrites. I say I'm on holiday. I just sent a rewrite yesterday over the internet to Sean Chambers, the director,
Yeah.
because he said, "Oh, end of rehearsals Thursday." He said, "Oh, there's one bit we thought it'd be better if," and so I rewrote that. You send it to him, and it's in the next morning.
Wow.
And it's really cool. It's so different because I'm used to being in the shows. And it's so cool to be able to sit here and think, great, go off and rehearse that then, while I'll
Yeah.
carry on with my whole.
No disrespect, Nigel. You've paid your dues, haven't you? I mean, you've paid your dues. You've been where they are many times before. But this is let's talk about the production because you've written it and therefore it's your baby. I mean, do you feel a bit more pressure when that's the case?
Eventually, yes. I've written a few plays now, but particularly with a farce like this one is, right up until there's an audience in front of it.
Yes.
You just don't know, and it is very tense as it gets closer to that day, because you could be making the wrong decisions. Say, go faster there, go slower here, but you might be wrong. It depends what the audience. You have to tell them really just listen to that audience. Listen to them while you're acting. Also, listen to whether they're laughing, when they're laughing, and all of that. We had
Absolutely.
the last farce I wrote also came to Coventry. I don't know whether it was at the Albany. It was something called Game of Love and Chai about
Oh,
3 years ago. And it was a farce based on an old French farce, like 18th century French farce called Game of Love and Chance. But I converted it to British Asian family because it's a play about an arranged marriage. So I put it into a middle-class British Asian family and called it Game of Love and Chai. And it
brilliant.
came out of Tara Arts Theatre and went all around the country and ended up, I think, in Coventry.
But you know what? I'm pretty
sure,
sure
yeah.
I spoke about it. Yeah, because let me put it this way: when a lot of theatre productions came on the show, they used to come my way. So I'm pretty sure, Nigel, that we've spoken about that. But let's talk about this though, because this is right up my street. This is so we've got a shameless PR agent, a narcissist personality, a geriatric world famous artist, a Finnish exchange student, and a banker. And I just said a banker. So tell me about this because it sounds brilliant.
Well, it's
It does. It's
like if
great.
you want to do fast, yeah, you've got to take particularly the main character has to be someone who you like to see brought down a bit, a peg or two. Somebody who's like jumped up in fast traditionally, which has been going a few hundred years. You want to have the pompous guy
Yes.
who needs taking down a bit and make a fool of himself. Hence that thing about trousers round your ankles, running around with your trousers round your ankles is not just sort of a rude thing. It's because for for a top gentleman or whatever, it's a humiliation. So that's what's going on. So my main character is this guy banker. He denies that he's actually a banker. He says he's a reinsurance hedge fund operative or something, but he's a banker. And his ex-wife is always saying, "Come on, we know what it rhymes with." And
Oh, yes.
he's decided to secretly to himself, he wants to get a knighthood and become a Tory donor and go do it. He's got a big bonus this year, and so he wants to start some charity. He doesn't really know anything about charity, but he wants to start a charity that makes him look really good. So, and then he's invited a sort of billionaire banker called, no, what's his name? I changed it around. Called Gonan Rishnak.
This is so hot off the press, Nigel, isn't it? Really, that he's still working on this. But sorry, you carry on. Go on.
Yeah, no, he's got there's a big billionaire guy meant to be coming. He's decided to do a celebrity charity auction where he auctions items from celebrities. That's where the PR agent has come in. She's very ambitious, and he's hired a PR agent to do it all. And that's where he went wrong, really, because she's voracious. And she's decided he's going to do a celebrity auction. And they've invited Gonan Rishnak to come and hopefully make massive bids. And then he can make friends with Gonan Rishnak, and he can be, he's in with the big guys. And it starts to go wrong, quite soon into Act One. And it just gets more and more wrong. It goes very badly wrong.
And that's what I want. I want it to go. I want it to go as wrong as it can go. My farces.
Yeah. It goes very wrong, and he does in fact end with his trousers round his ankles, but for a different reason. I won't give that away. But
No.
For a different reason. It's not sexual predation, but it is a ridiculous reason that he ends up running around looking like a twat. Excuse me, are we allowed to say that?
No, you're not, so I apologise. But look, what are you doing before?
I apologise.
No, don't you worry. But listen, what you're doing before this, which is amazing, this production, you're actually doing a question and answer session as well, aren't you? Which I think is brilliant.
That's right. At
so people are going to get the chance to speak to you.
7th. Yeah. It's a fun thing to do. 6 o'clock on the 7th at the Albany, just before the show. Anybody who's got a ticket, I believe, can come if you get there a bit early. And it's a Q&A, and we'll just any questions.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've got. No, sorry,
yeah, I was going to say if it's after the show, the questions will be about the show, but the people won't have seen the show. So
yes. So I've got a sneaky feeling they might be asking you about a certain character, because you know what I did when I was driving in here today? I was listening. No joke, I put it on my phone. I was listening to you, aka Neil from The Young One, singing "Hole in My Shoe" on top of the post, just to get me in the mood for the chat. But do you get many people talking about that classic time when you were on The Young Ones? Is that a big focus whenever you do question and answers?
Yeah. Yes, it is. I mean, it's usually a question. It's a focus all the time. The Neil, strange thing to have made this character, because the character used to be my act before The Young Ones.
Oh yeah.
He existed about 5 years before The Young Ones, so he's kind of he's like my alter ego, my whatever, my problem, and it's so strange to have thought up a character that's kind of me in some ways, and then find that it's stuck in people's minds. And it's now 40 years ago, but people still sort of identify that it established a thing. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's like, I don't know, if somebody says Captain Mannering to me, I've got an immediate picture of Arthur Lowe sitting there, in his office going, "No, don't tell him, don't tell him back, stupid boy," all that. And it sticks in your mind. It takes over a territory, doesn't it? And I think Neil's a bit like that. He's just taken over a territory. It's almost like he's not mine anymore.
Oh, no, he belongs to me.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
well, listen, Nigel, we've got to sadly move on now, but I've loved talking to you, mate. I've loved talking about your process of putting it together, your show, and also to speak to a comedy legend like you, because you're right, the character doesn't belong to you anymore. It belongs to me when I was that 11-year-old boy going into school, the next day
Yeah.
and doing impressions of you and Rick and Vivian, and not Mike, by the way. Not many people did Mike back then. But listen, thank you so much indeed, Nigel. I wish you all the very best with it. It sounds absolutely amazing. It's all above board, coming to the Albany Theatre, and it's on the 7th and the 8th of September. Have a wonderful time if you're going. And what's really exciting about it, as you heard, Nigel's still working on it.